The CEO of Joma Properties and entrepreneur Colin O'Neill has called on government to end the culture of starting projects, what he termed project culture, and replace it with a fix-first approach. This call came during his presentation on the topic Developing a Modern Virgin Islands, Ideas for Our Infrastructural Development at the Ministry of Communications and Works retreat on January 24th.
I think we need to move away from an inclination towards mega projects. These are important, but the current state of our needs can't wait for these projects to materialize. While there's much that needs to be replaced, I think that we have some existing infrastructure that's fallen into disrepair through neglect, and we need to take a fix-it-first approach. We need to upgrade what we have where it's possible. And we need to get our infrastructure into the league of our main Caribbean competitors before we aspire to be world-class or cutting edge.
Addressing wastage of public resources and creating an environment that is conducive for sustainable economic growth and development, O'Neill warned that priority should be given to the needs of the country when government embarks on carrying out its fiscal program. He further listed a number of areas that, in his view, the BVI is found wanting.
The BVI infrastructure falls woefully short of what it should be. And let's look at a few areas. Roads. I don't know if you've driven a car recently, but I think you'd agree with me that generally the condition of our roads fall well below world or even regional standards in terms of design, construction, and maintenance. Ports. Our ports are in fairly good shape, but many are stretched way beyond their passenger and cargo capacity. Water. Delivery is sporadic and unreliable. Electricity. Same thing. Hospitals and clinics. Inadequate. Solid waste removal and treatment, way below acceptable standards. Mass transit, inadequate or non-existent. Telecommunications, expensive and bandwidth not on par with first world standards, even though the BVI is a major financial services jurisdiction. I'm not trying to be critical here, but trying to set out the facts as I see them. And I should also point out the fact that almost every deficit in the quality or reliability of our infrastructure has a direct negative impact on the cost of doing business in the BVI.
A collaborative approach that involves public and private sector partners was itemized by O'Neill as a key ingredient to effectively pursue long-term planning and development goals for the Virgin Islands.
This was done in Bermuda recently, where a joint government and opposition, public and private sector team called Bermuda First was formed to analyze that country's socioeconomic situation and produce a plan, a strategic plan to move Bermuda's economic performance forward. And the key to its success was that it was broad-based, and it didn't exclude anybody. The private sector had an equal voice. In fact, it was motivated by private sector groups, and the government supported it, and the opposition supported it.
Colin O'Neill also cited the imposition of the protocols for financial management by the UK government as an opportunity for residents of the territory to get value for money.
Actually, in my view, I don't think that the protocols are, in principle, a bad thing. I think that they can potentially institutionalize and rationalize the type of cost-benefit analysis that we ought to have been bringing to project selection and execution from the very beginning. So I don't think that they're anything to be afraid of or necessarily to push back against. I think from the public's point of view, we may be more likely to get more bang for our investment buck, if you will.
He also expressed optimism about the local economy, irrespective of the challenges, adding that effective planning and sound use of human and physical resources to take the country forward. Colin O'Neill, the founder and managing partner of the law firm O'Neill Webster, practiced commercial law for nearly 20 years. In 2005, he left the practice of law to become Chief Executive Officer of Joma Properties Limited, a real estate development and management company in the British Virgin Islands.